Hi, I'm Eva Ackerman, and I read The Here and Now by Anne Bracheris. The story starts off when 17-year-old Prina James, protagonist, and the other travelers time travel from 2098 back to 2010. The future they come from was disease-stricken and falling apart. They came to the present for a safe haven. No one was supposed to know who they were and where they came from, but Ethan Jarves did. 4 years later, Ethan and Prina become friends at their high school. The rules clearly state that Prina cannot fall in love with Ethan, but she finds this pretty difficult. Soon enough, as part of the rising action, the two find themselves growing closer and closer. Weirdly enough, Ethan's old homeless friend wants to talk to Prina. Prina is freaked out. Kenobi, as Ethan calls him, warns Prina about a fork in time that could save the world from a terrible future Prina came from. The fork occurs on May 17, 2014. She knows this date well because it was written on her arm when she arrived back in 2010. Not long after she speaks with him, she finds him brutally attacked and bleeding to death. As he's dying, she realizes that Kenobi is her father. He had not told her because he was trying to protect her. After this incident, Prina and Ethan venture to set time on a better track. While on their journey, Prina is captured by the leaders of her community. She had broken almost all 12 rules of her society. The leaders plan to torture or punish her in some way, but Ethan swooped in to save the day. He rescues her, and they continue on the mission as May 17th approaches. In a storage locker previously owned by Kenobi, he left clues for Ethan and Prina. He left newspapers from the future and money to make sure they discovered what the fork and the time was on May 17th. While searching through the newspapers, they find an article on a key scientist who was killed that day. Her name was Mona Gali, and she was an acquaintance of Ethan. The pair devise a plan to stop her killing. Along the way, Prina uncovers a disturbing article from the future that dates Ethan's death on May 17th also. She decides not to tell him and promises she will not let him die. The climax of the book occurs when Ethan and Prina visit Mona Gali on May 17th and attempt to save her. While they are there, her murderer enters, Andrew Baltos, the antagonist of the story, and they have a dramatic fight. As hard as they try, Baltos still kills Mona. However, Ethan shoots Baltos in the leg, making him unable to escape. The resolution of the here and now is when Ethan and Prina set time on a hopefully better path. Even though they didn't save Mona Gali, Prina becomes more and more convinced that Ethan's death was the important fork on May 17th. When Baltos had found out who Ethan was, he said he grew up to become a distinguished scientist. The two can only wait to see if they have made a better future. However, Prina soon realizes that the leaders were right about one rule. She and Ethan could not be together. She could give him diseases that she is immune to, ruining their chance at a better future. This leads to a devastating separation. Nevertheless, Prina is reunited with her best friend, Catherine, after being separated by the community leaders. I enjoyed this book because it had an interesting spin on time travel. I would recommend it to 7th and 8th graders who are interested in young adult books.